Alright, we're attempting to duplicate the method of unseizing stuck pistons on a motorcycle that's been sitting around for several years. This is my 1985 VF1100 Honda Sabre, which you can see I've done a frame-off restoration on at some point in time. I think I finished that in 2005. It is now 2014. I believe the last time I rode the motorcycle was around 2011. So it's been at least 3 or 4 years. The gas tank was full of rust and the pistons are rusted in their bore. So after looking at all the videos on YouTube, I chose the one from the redneck fellow who was unseizing a 1984 VF1100 Sabre. And his method seemed to be the one that I thought was probably the best, because it seemed like it might evacuate a lot of the stuff that might be in the engine, other than just unsticking the pistons, maybe actually cleaning the engine out to some degree. So as you see down here, what we've got is a 5-gallon container that'll fit underneath the motorcycle. And we have that full of a mixture of 5 gallons of diesel fuel and 9 quarts of Marvel's Mystery Oil. In that we have a aquarium pump, which we've got submersed down in the Marvel's Mystery Oil diesel mixture. It is attached to, I believe it's a 5/8 inch outside diameter clear hose that I bought from Lowe's for about 50 cents a foot. So what it's doing is it's pumping the liquid into the crankcase, the same place that you would add the oil. I suspect that it's acting as the oil pump would if the engine were running. So basically it's pumping that through the engine. And then, as the guy says, you've got a manifold up here on top that's behind the valve cover and underneath the coil. You can see right there, as he says, this comes off of it. It's probably some kind of breather vent that comes off the top of the valve cover. And as you can see, it's pumping the fluid in, just like he says. And then the fluid is coming out the other side, same size clear tubing from the home improvement store. So basically I've just got it coming down this way and just going underneath the motorcycle back into the container. And you see it's coming out. I've got a t-shirt in there using that as a filter to catch any sediment. So far it all looks pretty clean. It's been going for about 20 minutes and so far there is nothing in the air box, as he suggested that there might be. So far I feel pretty confident that it will work. It hasn't been sitting around as long as some of the ones on YouTube. I live near an airport. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll let this run for a little while, then I'll pull the plug there and see if there's any fluid coming up from under the cylinder or from under the piston. Alright, then we'll see what happens. So far it actually is working the way he said that it would work. Alright, so one thing that I did not mention in the last video is that the first thing I did to try to unseize the piston was I just sprayed PB Blaster down in the cylinders and let that sit for about a day, and then I tried to rock it back and forth in 5th gear. But that did not work. I did not want to try, since that didn't work, I didn't want to try turning it by hand at the crank, because I figured it was real rusty, so I thought I'd use the redneck guy's method. I let that method run with the diesel and the Marvel's Mystery Oil for about a day and a half, And then I still wasn't getting anything up into the cylinders, the upper part of the cylinder there, or up into the air box up above the carburetor. So I got a little bit impatient, so I went ahead and drained all the fluid, and then I just took the side cover off there, got myself a little breaker bar, because it would not budge without the breaker bar. But once I put the breaker bar on, it did budge pretty easily. Now it doesn't go all the way around. And as you can see, I'll drop this down in the cylinder. So now right about there, it gets stuck, and there's a little bit of a gritty sound, so I don't want to try to push it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it down where it's moving, and I already put some more PB blaster up there in the plug holes. But now I'm going to put the side cover back on, and I'm going to go ahead and run the Marvel's Mystery Oil for another day, and then we'll see how it is. It is too hard to turn over. Once it hits that part, it gets stuck. So don't want to force anything. Alright, so I'm sort of using a combination. I didn't really want to wait it out like the guy in the other video was saying. I'm a little bit too impatient for that. I got an RX-7 project that I need to get to, so I need to get this thing out of the way. Plus I got 2 other motorcycles that are in complete disrepair. So anyway, I'll get back to it tomorrow.